I found it. Watch this. This is amazing. Okay.
Pocket monster, the spiral. And it stands for what? Male fertility. It's supposed to be able to mesmerize and hypnotize its enemies. This character over here is called Mewtwo. Every time that you see Mewtwo, he's in this pose. 3 fingers. It means hail Satan. Everybody, okay, everybody go, oh, come on. His tail. It's a lightning bolt. And it's a Satanic Z. The Pokemon trading card game is a new collectible card game that is made and distributed by Wizards of the Coast. What is a wizard? Male practitioner of black magic.
Okay, if you're gonna badmouth black magic, why the hell do you have a mullet that you're wearing totally straight? Like, no joke behind it whatsoever. He's wearing a nice suit. He looks dapper. And then he has like a couple of squirrels just exploded on the back of his head. It's unbelievable.
Cute little Pokemon. Can we agree on that? Yes. Oh, I know, he's cute, isn't he? Little satanic tail. Let the camera get a view of that. These pocket monsters are creatures that inhabit the world with humans. Gotta catch them all. You don't need mom. You don't need dad. You don't need grandparents. You don't need aunts and uncles. You don't need school. And you probably don't even need a church. Because you're a master. This rap song that's played over again. And it says, I will travel across the land searching far and wide, each Pokemon to understand.
The little inference that rap makes it more evil. Like, he didn't say just a song that plays over and over again. Plus, calling that intro song rap is a little generous. But he's like, yeah, the rap song.
Because you're a master. This rap song that's played over again. And it says, I will travel.
Can you imagine listening to rap?
Across the land searching far and wide, each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. And then it's enchanted to them. Gotta catch them all. Here's the next character. This is Misty. Look at this. If this was actually clear, you'd see that that's a halter top. It stops right there. And she's got short shorts on. She's
basically a prostitute. This is what your children are playing with. Or can you believe it?
Strong and stubborn, constantly arguing with Ash. Typical woman. God forgive me. All right. Jesse, and the other one's called James. And listen what it says about them. It says, prepare for trouble, make it double. Jesse and James are an evil gang looking to steal rare Pokemon. In the program, they're also prone to cross-dressing.
God forbid. No. I love the people in the audience. They're like, no. Like, audibly gasping with each of these revelations about Pokemon cards.
So
listen to this.
To cross-dressing.
No.
And look here. This is Mew over here. M-E-U. He's kind of cute.
Okay, this pastor knows a lot about Pokemon for somebody who thinks it's so evil. Do you think he's like secretly playing with Pokemon cards in his spare time? He's like, I'm doing research, and he's got all the packs and he's opening them up frantically and organizing them in those big folders with all the slip things in it. I bet that's what he's doing. It wouldn't surprise me in the least.
And this is Mewtwo over here, complete with his satanic salute. And if you notice, that pose is always given with the left hand. 618 children had suffered convulsions, vomiting, irritated eyes, and other symptoms after watching Pokemon.
Again, you just got to follow this through. Like, ask what is actually being said. Because for the record, I grew up in a family that believed a lot of this stuff and going to churches that openly taught this kind of thing. Okay, so this is like weirdly nostalgic for me. It makes me feel like I'm at home in a bizarre sort of way. And because of that, like, I know that people who act like this and believe this stuff, they just throw out all of this crap and they don't really think about it. You know, they don't actually follow through in their mind's eye where this leads to. They just say stuff like, oh yeah, the Pokemon cards will turn you into a prostitute, and kids are convulsing when they play it, and also like Hillary eats children. You know, they just throw this stuff out. They don't actually follow it through. So with this, you just have to ask, okay, So what you're suggesting is that if kids play Pokemon with these cards, the devil possesses them, causes them to writhe and convulse, vomiting uncontrollably, because a demon has infested them. That's what you believe is happening when kids play this card game. That's what it is. Don't beat around the bush. Like, that's what you actually believe, you know? This is why, like, with this stuff, you just follow it through. And eventually, you pull that string long enough, you realize just how insane it really is. And a lot of the time, they will too. I've done this with people close to me and in our family that I won't get specific, of course. But there's people in my immediate vicinity who believe some crazy stuff. And a lot of the time, you just have to pull that thread, poke the bear a little bit, just to get it to open up. And a lot of the time, they'll be like, yeah, no, I just like heard that. I don't think I believe it, but I had heard it. So I just wanted to know your thoughts. And they back off of it really quickly. But when they're allowed to just throw that crap out, they just keep doing it. And eventually they work themselves up in a tizzy, you know? Anyway, what else is Pokemon going to do to us?
There's something unusual about that. They don't know why it
You're telling me.
happened. Remember I said that they get...
Okay, they don't know why it happened. Do you have any idea? Maybe, like, is it demon possession? Or maybe it's like epilepsy? Something the kids ate? You know? It looks like it's clipped from a news story. December 17th, 1997, the bright flashing lights of a popular TV cartoon became a serious matter Tuesday evening when they triggered seizures in hundreds of Japanese children. Boom, bright flashing lights. And it triggered seizures. That's epilepsy. Like, I don't see what the scandal is here. How this could possibly be like baffling to them, you know? It looks like it's a CNN report. In a national survey, the Tokyo Fire Department found that at least 618 children had suffered convulsions, vomiting, irritated eyes, and other symptoms after watching Pokemon. Wait, if in that 618 children number, you're including kids who just had irritated eyes? That's just what happens when you watch a lot of TV. My eyes get irritated after being in the studio. Does that mean I'm being demon possessed whenever I stream? Maybe, actually, that could make sense. They might be onto something.
Irritated eyes and other symptoms after watching Pokemon. There's something unusual about that. They don't know why it happened. Remember I said that they get their energy through energy balls. Cute little Pikachu, and he's being energized by an energy ball. And now you notice he's not quite so cute anymore, and his little satanic tail is really erect.
Uh-oh.
They actually show the energy balls that is used to make these monsters bigger and better. Look at the yellow. What do you see?
Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt.
The guy in the audience, lightning bolt. I studied, I know, lightning bolt.
Look here. All-seeing eye. Up here is the clenched fist.
Like, again, just put yourself in their shoes. Live in this world with them for just a second. Lightning bolts are satanic, and if you see them, it's a secret message that they're using to infest children with demons. And, like, if there's an eye in a ball, it's the all-seeing eye, which is satanic and is also a demonic symbol. And so, like, all of U.S. currency, which has the pyramid on the back with the little all-seeing eye, that is satanic. Like, your whole reality becomes totally infested with utter insanity. You know, this is where it goes. This is where it takes you. And that's why it's so important when you buy into one conspiracy theory to really, really think about what the implications are. Because you buy into one, the second one doesn't seem so crazy. and then the third, and then the fourth. And all of a sudden you're believing all of this crap.
Symbol for rebellion, anarchy. Powerful witchcraft symbol where my finger is. Down here is another powerful witchcraft symbol. And down at the bottom here, this blue ball down in here is the symbol for energy of water. Earth, wind, and fire, the three basic elements of all witchcraft.
Shake your booty. Was that Earth, Wind, and Fire? I think it was.
There's a war going on right now for the children because Satan wants them really bad. Got to catch them all. Got to get them while they're young. Got to induct satanic doctrine. For me and my family, we are going to serve the Lord. Not in the ways of these Pokemon, not in the ways of witchcraft or Satan worship. Look at this. Pokemon Psychic Surprise. Look at this. This creature right here is called Haunter. Little Pikachu down here, he's crying his eyes out. He's not cute, and even Ash doesn't look cute anymore. Those energy balls represent that the Pokemon get their power by supernatural occult ability. Abracadabra. The Kadabra character has a pentagram on his forehead, and he has SSS across his chest. Satan's solemn servant. The Kadabra character is always pictured on the card with his left hand giving the satanic salute. Look at this.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The like rock and roll, that's apparently like devil horns. I remember one time, so we grew up in Texas, there was a family that like went to the church that we did, and they came to the football game. It was a college football game with the Texas Longhorns. And the Texas Longhorns, all the fans, when they get like touchdowns and stuff, they do the symbol, which is Longhorns, yeah. Like that's just what they do. And that family left the football game early because they didn't realize they would be surrounded by Satanists. Because they were doing this, which is devil horns. Like, again, you start, like, one little thing doesn't seem that bad. Then you start to buy into total nuttiness. It's just, frankly amazing. But this whole, like, satanic panic thing, this was crazy for a while. In the 80s and 90s, it was everywhere. Everything was a satanic symbol. Everything was a hidden message. You know, the Beatles were trying to speak demonic messages to people. That kind of started with the Helter Skelter thing. Or if you play Michael Jackson songs backwards, there are messages hidden within it. And Wizards of the Coast, you know, they're a demonic organization. And Dungeons and Dragons, if you play those games, then you are actually going to sell your soul to the devil. And it even ripples through a lot of communities today. I mean, up until 10 years ago when I was at home, they like my parents thought that Harry Potter was going to turn you evil because it celebrated witchcraft and stuff. It's just crazy. Like, and what's a real bummer is it causes kids to miss out on really cool stuff. I didn't get to enjoy Pokemon as a kid because of this. All the other kids my age who were playing Pokemon and watching Pokemon, having a great time, I couldn't relate to them because I wasn't allowed to experience it or engage with it. You know, and there's a lot of other kids that are in the same boat. Video games are one of the great unifiers nowadays. Everybody plays video games, but the kids who are part of these communities that keep them sectioned off and don't let them play these games or interact with this stuff, they don't have any way of relating to those around them who are outside of that community, which is by design. I mean, it's all about trying to limit the worldly influence, right? It sounds sort of unaffecting at first. Oh, we're just gonna like keep our family away from the things of the world. But what that actually does is it just puts up walls around you and prevents you from relating to the outside reality, and it keeps you trapped within, because if you ever break out, you'll have no idea how to function. I remember going to my first college class. I was still kind of drinking the Kool-Aid at that point. Went to my first college class. It was a philosophy class. And the teacher, went through, he basically sat us down and he said, everybody write on pieces of paper. Don't worry, I'm not gonna, dox you or anything with them. I just want you to write down on a piece of paper as a thought exercise the most controversial topics you can think of. So like we all think about it and we put down, the most controversial thing we could think of, whether it's like abortion or like at that point gay marriage was there were still a lot of people that were actively ranting against that, or socialism in America, stuff like that. We wrote all that down, and he had the basket look like a trash can. He said, okay, we did that, you wrote it down, you got the juices flowing, put it in here. And everybody puts their piece of paper in the can, and then he's like, great, and goes back to the front of the class, and he reaches in and pulls out 3 different little sheets of paper that we had all put in. He's like, so this semester we're going to talk about abortion, gay marriage, and like he just goes down the list and he gets like 5 different ones, and that's what we talked about for the semester. And we analyzed it from a philosophical perspective to try and understand arguments for and against these things. And he was fantastically even-handed. He was like, there are philosophical debates on like the existence of God, right? There are arguments from both sides. Let's look at them. And he broke them down. And it was really cool because as somebody coming from a household where you just didn't talk about that stuff, it was so freeing. It was like, oh, I had never even started to think about this stuff, because in the like where I was raised, I was told that like having critical thoughts on things that you're supposed to take as just fact is actually you doubting it, and doubting it means the devil's getting to you. So if you start to question or like critically analyze things, that's the devil. Stop it. Cut it off. That doesn't work. So that's why like when people in these communities start to like go to college or get educated and have their mind kind of opened a little bit, people in these communities are like, oh, they're just being indoctrinated. It's actually quite the opposite. It's just that, no, I've never had my thoughts challenged, and I've never thought critically about the things I hold as true. And now, for the first time in my life, I'm actually doing that. And I love it. It's amazing, It's one of my favorite things is to have somebody come to me and offer a perspective on a topic that I had never even considered before. It challenges you. It's interesting. And you're like, holy crap, that's a pretty good point. That's interesting. I like that. I really like that. And it gets the gears spinning, because at the end of the day, we should all want to believe as many true things as possible and as few false things as possible. Whatever the evidence points to is probably true. Whatever the evidence points away from, probably false. So chase the truth, avoid the falsities.